I'm Kat.
I'm Rachel.
We are the Pandemonium.
Good morning. Good morning. I can hear they're doing flyovers. I think there's a group that, or I think it might be Eglin because it's very faint over here. So it's not Tyndall as far as I know. We had an emergency this morning, or what I would deem as an emergency, because I ran out of bananas and almond milk, and I had to run to Walmart in my moo to try and find bananas and almond milk. I mean, it was a catastrophe, so I mean, you couldn't feed the baby. Also, in other news, very, very happy news, we have merch! We're getting shirts sent to us, so of course, over the course of the next couple of episodes, we should be wearing them. I think she said she's gonna send them out in the next 2 days. But our faces are on them, and we're gonna be making one that says, "Why is it always arsenic?" We're also making another one that says, "Stay feral, bite the hand," which I got to make a thing for that one. I was thinking about putting one of the possums on it, or just putting both the possums on it. That just says, "Stay feral, bite the hand." But I'm excited. I'm pretty stoked about it. Sorry, I was sending Cat photos, and then I was like, "Oh, I need to put my phone on D&D because that way I don't get any messages coming through." But now you have a boom arm, so we don't have to worry about, you hitting the arm and hearing that. Bah, 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 bah. I mean, there's still a good chance that I'll hit the arm, but it's not sitting on my table in front of me now. It's not like before. Before, there was tons of editing. So when we just had the audio, it was easier for me to edit it out because I could see the spikes on the actual audio itself. So I knew that's when she hit the scrolly thing on her table, or when she dropped her phone or something like that. Yeah, we both have scrolly bits. If you haven't guessed it, 90% of the stuff in my office is pink. My husband's is all black. I would show you the rest of his, but there's photos above his computer that I can't show on YouTube. Because we did a little photo shoot before I got married, so we know. There, what is it? The NR17? NC17. That's what it is. Polly, our little squirrel, she came over and she goes, "Oh, you're getting married. We got to take these photos. Your husband's going to love them." And I was like, okay, not knowing. And she stole my phone for 2 hours. Took some really great photos, which I love and appreciate. But looking back at those, I'm like, I thought I had giant tatas. I did not. I now am pregnant and have giant yayas. Well, I think part of that is the bellies also pushed them up, so you see more of them now. Yeah, pretty much. So what else? We have merch. I think I'm also going to talk to her about doing bumper stickers, because Rachel and I both agreed we need some bumper stickers. I can't make all of them. I'm good, but I'm not that great. So try to figure that out. What else is, we have 2 new listeners. You remember early on in our first couple of episodes, we did a shout out to AAA Straight Bait here in Killeen. Their owner is a medium, and I got to meet her yesterday. I love that. She is funny as sin. And I was like, yeah, I have a paranormal true crime podcast. And she's like, really? I'm going to listen to it tonight. And I said, yeah, absolutely. We also have a YouTube. And the girl that was working on the other side of the counter just slid forward and she goes, what's the name? And I was like, oh, I'd be glad to tell you. Here's their information. So we have 2 new followers. So now we have 84 followers on our podcast page, which is huge. Excuse me. I'm not seeing her. I don't think she has a public profile. So, but thank you for the follow from AAA Straight Babe. We love you because you carry my husband's vape juice.
Happy birthday to all of our May babies. Whether you're celebrating big or keeping it low-key, we hope that your month is filled with chaos, cake, and just the right amount of bad decisions. This one's for you. Now let's give some love to our May birthdays. Sarah S., Izzy S., Kathy A., Elizabeth R.A., our host Kat, Eleni S., Danielle M., Jessica S., Emily, Addie, Cheyenne, Mariana BT. Happy birthday to every single one of you party possums. We're so lucky to have you as part of our chaotic little family, and we hope that this year brings you everything that you deserve and more. And maybe just a little bit of chaos to keep things interesting. Celebrate big, celebrate loud, and always stay feral. And if you want your name added to our monthly birthday shoutouts, don't forget to follow our Facebook page and join our group on Facebook as well. This way, you don't miss out on all the fun shenanigans to come. As always, we love you and appreciate you, and have a wonderful birthday. Dance break. Everybody loves the dance break. Especially considering we have to set up hydration stations, take our meds because we're dehydrated houseplants.
And I'm trying not to give myself a brain freeze with my slightly frozen smoothie.
Notice how mine is off screen. Very demure. Pace yourself, boo.
Oh, I have been. This is breakfast.
This is my breakfast, and then I'll have second breakfast around 11. Somewhere around there. Okay. So I don't have it today, which means you do.
Yeah. Just go ahead, insert trigger warning here.
This is a Pandemonium Witches podcast trigger warning. The following episode contains graphic violence and gruesome depictions. Listener discretion is advised. No. Okay. Wait, is it arsenic?
No.
Okay. It would help if I was unmuted for that.
I watched you do it, and I was like, well, I mean, it's a good thing you watch the video back when you edit. So
I do. Okay, so when we record these, whenever I need to insert something, I do 2 little snaps. So that way I am aware, hey, this is where you have to put something in. And Rachel just saw me do that with myself muted.
Please leave that part in. Yeah, so she does it when she needs to cut, like, this next part is going to be cut out, or this next part, something has to be added.
And I'll probably say, like, dance break or trigger warning or something. And then that way I know that little bit, I have to put those in. And because Rachel doesn't do the editing, I do all of the editing. She just makes sure that I stay safe during the whole thing.
And hydrated.
That too, because I'm a dehydrated houseplant. But yeah, I will for you, I'll leave it in.
Thanks. Just so that way our listeners and watchers can see you do the snap, realize you're muted, and go and make the face. Which is part of the reason why we started doing the video recordings, because that way people could see our wonderful faces. Except sometimes I forget to actually interact with my face. It's just RBF.
What's funny is Michaela was the one person who was like, I need to see the faces. And I was like, I mean, if we have one more person that says it, like if we have 3 total people who do it, I'll do it. We had 3 total people who wanted YouTube. So I was like, all right, okay. We'll go ahead and set up a YouTube. And it's honestly, we have 38 followers now. Not at all where I thought this was going to go. I thought we were going to have 5 subscribers. And we were going to fizzle out. Nothing was going to happen. And, you know, God, what did I tell you? Our most popular video right now, most recent popular video is where is it?
I want to say it was the Black Dahlia?
Elizabeth Short case. With 54 views. And actually, let me click views. The most popular one before that is the Elizabeth Barraza case that we did last season. The second is Alcatraz, Maximum Security to Haunted House, which was published last season. The third one is Elizabeth Short. The fourth one was the one that you did on Annette Cooper and Todd Schultz. And the fifth one was the case that your sister came on and did, because she won.
And we did, that looks like 33 views on that one. So I'm pretty happy. Right? Me too. And everybody gets to see our faces and watch our reactions as we listen to horrific things. I love it. I love it. And I mean, like, what I'm doing is as I'm posting these, because I'm pre-scheduling these for the arrival of the chosen one, we're pre-prepping YouTube, so it's done. That'll give me one less thing that I have to worry about. And as I'm uploading it to YouTube, I'm also prepping our website. So if you want to go into our, I think it's in our bio on our YouTube channel. I know this is a lot longer than we normally do it for intros, but we have a lot to update. We have, no, I have to add it. I will do that right now. I'm just going to put buy merch and a bunch of exclamation points. I mean, same thing. I made it the second link. So if you guys go to our channel, it'll be right below the Spotify. It'll say our website, our Facebook page, our Facebook group, and right there at the bottom, it'll say buy merch. They're very big letters, but I'm excited and rather stoked for all of this to happen. And thank you to Jalea. I think that's how you say her name. Yeah, Jalea, for reaching out to us and setting us up with an amazing bonfire account so we can get merch to our feral party possums. We've been at this for 13 minutes. I know it's going to be a bad case because you already had me do the trigger warning before the too long didn't read. I have my hydration station. I am caffeinated. I am ready. Sorry, while you're doing that and talking about the bonfire, I realized my headphone cord was like wrapped around my mic stand. And so I was like, this is gonna bother me. I need to unwind this. That's what I was doing. Is that what that sound was? Because I kept hearing every time you moved your arm, I heard a tap. I had myself muted. When you were unmuted. Possibly. Okay. Well, I was trying to, I thought it was just connected to the, one of the anchor points. And so I went to go move it. And I was like, oh no, that's going to take a little bit. Anyways, I don't think you're ready for this. I was not ready for this. I saw that, ma'am. I did nothing. My glasses were sliding down my face. Oh, likely story. All right, what do we have? So we have the case of Carmen Gayheart, which happened in April 27th, 1994. 94, the year of Blockbuster. The year of what else? Hold on. No, we have to give them some serotonin. Let's think. The year of Tamagotchi. I was 3. I was 10. 9. I was 9. That's a big difference. Words are hard for Elmo. Blast. The year of jelly shoes. The year of Oshkosh Bagosh making a comeback from the 1950s. The year of clear plastic furniture. The year of Delilah's and Claire's and Junko jeans. What else? Nerf guns. Nerf guns became popular in the 90s. If you were from the Bay Area, the year of actual Delilah. You are listening to Delilah, the smooth sounds of Sleepless in Seattle. Sunny released the original PlayStation in Japan.
Oh, the first PlayStation. Okay. And then we had Sega Genesis and Nintendo. Super Nintendo came out, right? I think.
Lion King was released by Disney. Friends premiered, which, like, holy crap. Forrest Gump, Pulp Fiction, and Shawshank Redemption are released.
The 90s, man. Okay. You've had some serotonin. You've had your chance to adjust. Too bad. If I have to sit through this, you do too. Let's go.
Pretty much. So Carmen was abducted in Lake City, Florida, and was
just right into it. Okay.
No, this is too long to read.
Okay. And where in Florida?
Lake City. She was subsequently violated and murdered in Hamilton County. And the two men responsible were Anthony Wainwright and Richard Hamilton. And they had escaped from a North Carolina prison just days prior.
Excuse me?
Carmen was a mother of two and was a nursing student at Lake City Community College at this time. Following a multi-state investigation, both Anthony and Richard were apprehended, tried, and convicted of first-degree murder. Both were given ending of life sentences.
Nice. Nice. Like that wording.
Richard remained on death row in Florida until his ending due to natural causes. Florida DOT called it, not DOT, DOC, said that it was natural causes on January 13th, 2023, and Anthony was helped to the end by an injection on June 10th, 2025.
So the DOC facilitated an appointment with God is what you're saying.
I wouldn't say God so much. They facilitated a meeting with somebody, all right. But yeah, both of them were alive in the 2020s. And this happened in 1994. Good old justice system. Besides the point, though. Anyways, moving on. So Carmen was born to Joanna Richard Tortora on September 2nd, 1970. She had two sisters, Maria and Tara, four brothers, Tony, Vince, Billy, and John, and two half-sisters, Dolly and Christina. Her full name was Carmen Gabriela Tortora, and when she married Ricky Gayheart, her last name became Gayheart, as it happens. She graduated from Cardinal Gibbons High School, got married, and had her children, Jessica and Chad, not long after high school. She and her husband moved to Fort White, Florida, where Carmen would have graduated with her nursing degree from Lake City Community College if she had not been murdered at the young age of 23. April 27th, 1994, Carmen was reported missing after she didn't pick up her children from daycare. Carmen had attended her nursing classes and had last been seen in a nearby parking lot earlier that day. By not picking up her children, it immediately raised concerns because it's not like her. It's not her pattern. After initial search by her husband, father, and fellow classmates, after that did not turn up anything, she was officially reported missing. Wouldn't be a show without technical difficulties.
Listen, okay, at least one an episode, we have something happen. She just got a brand new boom arm. It's been working wonderfully, except I keep hearing a tap, tap, tap. And it's like a boing, a boing, a boing, a boing.
Can you hear it now?
No.
Okay. I was about to say, my chair did just creak, so if you'd heard that.
But listen, okay, so my ears, so I'm half deaf. In one ear, I have 80% hearing loss. In the other ear, it picks up for the rest. So it's definitely interesting because I'm sitting here and I'm like, ow, 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 something is hurting my ear, ow. But yeah, okay, please continue.
Like I said, it wouldn't be an episode.
It wouldn't be a Pandemonium episode if something didn't happen with the audio, the video, my brain.
Anyways, so after searching, after her father, husband, and fellow classmates searched, did not find anything, she was officially reported missing. Unfortunately, she had been taken by Anthony and Richard using a pew-pew. She had been loading groceries into her Ford Bronco in the parking lot of a Winn-Dixie supermarket. So, didn't have her back. Was focused on what she was doing, not paying attention, unfortunately. So, like I mentioned in the TLDR, 2 days before this, Anthony and Richard had escaped from Carteret Correctional Center, which was a minimum security prison in Newport, North Carolina. Anthony was serving 10 years for burglary. Richard was serving 25 for armed robbery.
Also, just to let you know, every time we write notes and we're writing escape, we do escape.
Of course we do. It's the best way to remember how to spell it.
Right. Thank you, Dory.
Exactly. Well, they ended up stealing a vehicle and robbing a home after they escaped. And in robbing the home, they took 2 long pew-pews before fleeing to Florida.
Okay.
I just saw you do the hand movements like...
I know something bad is going to happen, like right meow, so I'm prepping myself.
That's fair. Well, after taking Carmen, Anthony and Richard abandoned their original vehicle at a lumber yard on US 41. And then, because they took her Bronco with them when they fled, so one of them had Carmen, the other one was in the Bronco, one was in the original getaway car. So after they ditched the original vehicle that they stole in North Carolina, they then fled in Carmen's Bronco with her. And this is where I started calling them sleazeballs. Because I really did not like them at this point.
I mean, it's fair. We come here to shame the villains and uplift the victims, so that's what we do.
Exactly. So the sleazeballs drove her to a remote wooded area behind the Fuel City truck stop off of State Route 6, in the neighboring Hamilton County. Once there, they brutally violated her. According to Richard, Anthony hand-hugged her in an attempt to end her life. And to ensure that she died, Anthony then pew-pewed her twice in the head with a bolt-action .22 long pew-pew, which fatally wounded her.
Now you're saying hand hug. Do you mean throat hugged? Because I'm assuming this is hand hugging.
Yes, throat hug. Sorry.
Throat hugging is what they call in the book talk community a necklace. So
not a good kind of necklace.
Not a good kind of necklace. Not the kind of necklace we like. No. Nay.
Well, they left her body there, and the two men continued their attempt to evade law enforcement in the Bronco. During their later trial, both confessed that the other person was responsible for throat hugging and pew pewing Carmen. So neither one of them were going to own up to it. So that happened the 27th. On the 28th, they were found near Brookhaven, Mississippi, where they were confronted by a state trooper, a Mississippi state trooper, and ended up engaging in a fight, a pew pew fight.
I don't know if you know this, but there are 3 different types of state troopers you do not want to get on the wrong side of: Georgia, Mississippi, and Texas. Am I wrong?
I mean, especially not the Georgia ones.
Obviously, you've seen their YouTube.
Hilarious.
Anytime she sees it on Facebook, she immediately sends it to me.
Oh, yeah, because it's a laugh. It's always a laugh. Anyways.
So they got into a kerfuffle.
Yes. Which ended up with Richard being hit in the face with a wireless hole punch and Anthony sustaining a hole punch wound. Both were deemed not worthy of death.
Damn it!
I know. During the arrest, authorities recovered the Bronco, which the two idiots had been driving since leaving Carmen back in Florida.
Over that, I'm laughing over the fact of the sheer audacity, the caucasity. Wait. Are these guys white?
Yes.
Can I look at the photos? I don't think she sent me photos of them. So now I'm going to go ahead and look at the photos that she sent me. She reminds me of a teacher I used to have.
Okay, so the first guy I sent was his most recent Florida DOC mugshot. The second photo is him at the trial, and that is Anthony.
He has a very round head.
This next one,
This Mr. Potato Head looking mother forker.
The next one is Richard. So, and unfortunately, that DOC photo was the only one I could find of him. So the first one was Anthony. Next one was Richard.
You know, I'm going to deep dive until I find another one. I'm going to look. I look at yearbook photos from where they went to school. Like, I go deep diving on this stuff. He looks like Mr. Potato Head.
Oh yeah, no. Yeah, so the gray and white photo was Anthony at the trial. If you look again, you will see Richard.
With the what's his name? The Dahmer glasses? Right behind him?
No. I have no idea who that. No, So the first 2 photos of it are Anthony, and then I sent another photo just now.
I haven't gotten it yet. So that's why I was like, are you talking about the guy behind him? Question mark.
No, so the next guy, that's Richard. Richard was really hard to find any other photos of because apparently there's a lot of Richard Hamiltons. So I was getting all kinds of other photos, not the photos I wanted. I was like 5 pages deep on Google Images. Found that photo and then the court trial photo. And then I couldn't find a court photo of Richard. So I was just like, you know what? His last photo from DOC is just going to have to do for right now. Anyway, so I will continue while she starts deep diving. So even though they found the Bronco, they still hadn't found Carmen, and she was still considered missing at this point. After his arrest, Richard waived extradition, extraditing, there we go, and was promptly returned to Columbia County, Florida. Investigators in that county's sheriff's office conducted an in-depth interrogation regarding the disappearance of Carmen. During this interrogation, Richard provided a detailed confession and cooperated with authorities by drawing a map of the area they had taken Carmen.
My flabbers be gasted.
Even though he had drawn a map, he couldn't tell them what city or county where it was located, just what the area was, it looked like. He also claimed that while both men had participated in the violation of Carmen, it was only Anthony that had ended Carmen's life. May 2nd, 1994. So, roughly a week and a half later?
Ironically enough, this comes out on May 1st. So,
Okay.
Tina
Wheeler, who was a dispatcher with Hamilton County Sheriff's Office, advised, I guess she had taken a look at the map, and said that she recognized the map that Richard had drawn. So Deputy Sheriff Mel Black and Albert Jones drove to the area at around 4:30 a.m. in an attempt to find Carmen. While searching the area, Albert smelled a smell that was most foul and alerted other investigators. At sunrise, roughly 7 a.m., Carmen's body was found. Hamilton County Sheriff's Office took the investigation into Carmen's unaliving and sent Carmen's remains to the District 4 Medical Examiner's Office in Jacksonville. After Carmen was transported to the Medical Examiner's Office, investigators did a follow-up search of the crime scene. At the recommendation of Dr. Margarita Azura, who had noted that Carmen was missing several teeth in her hyoid bone, which is the little floating U-shaped bone under the jaw, investigators returned to the crime scene. During this new search, they were successful in recovering some of her teeth and the missing bone. Following their arrests, Anthony and Richard were charged with multiple felonies: first-degree violent end of life, sexual hitting, robbery, and abducting. In July 1994, so 2 months later, a grand jury indicted the pair on all of the counts. The state attorney for the 3rd Judicial Circuit, Jerry Blair, announced his intent to see them both get the death penalty, citing the heinous and premeditated nature of their actions, as well as the aggravated factors of abducting, violation, and Carmen's vulnerability. The case proceeded into trial with significant public attention and outrage at the brutality of the crimes committed. Carmen's family members expressed that they wanted both men to be assisted to the end of life for the violation and death of Carmen, which I don't blame them. Because even though it won't bring her back, it means 2 less bad guys in the world. I wasn't sure if you were saying something, that's why you had your hand raised.
I found a pre-Mr. Potato Head photo. This is what he looked like at the time of the original trial.
And that was Anthony? Or Richard?
That was Dick.
Okay, so he just had hair then and actually had, I guess, Teeth in
Chin.
his mouth.
Yeah, and a chin. Yeah. I'm looking to see if I can find other photos, but I'll let you know. I'll keep you posted.
Okay.
I am looking.
Due to this significant media attention, as well as being unable to produce an unbiased jury, because of course not, the court moved the trial to Clay County, where they were able to find a jury, and it was quickly picked. During their lovely stay in Clay County Jail, the two expressed repeatedly their intent to escape, because of course they did. Authorities received intelligence about the two actively planning an escape attempt, which allegedly included a plot to unalive a corrections officer during the breakout, because of course. They've already killed once, so what's another person at that point? Due to the seriousness of these threats, the jail officials placed both of them in maximum security confinement to prevent any potential escape or violence against the jail staff. They also had to wear stun belts for their court appearances, and the belts were constantly turned on to keep them under control.
Okay, so I took self-defense classes. Those things hurt.
That's why I was giggling the other day finishing up this research on the phone. I was like, oh my gosh.
That is wonderful. I love that. Keep going.
So the trial and sentencing of Anthony and Richard were held before separate juries in May 1995. May 30th, 1995, both juries found them guilty of abducting, violating, and violently unaliving Carmen. June 1st, 1995, both juries recommended that both men be sentenced to unaliving for the most serious of first-degree violent unaliving. Based on court sources, the jury for Anthony handed in a unanimous vote for capital punishment, while Richard's jury handed in a majority vote of 10-2. You look confused.
All of the other photos have been scrubbed. I went to the yearbook site that I normally go to. His photo's gone. That just shows you sometimes people just want to remove other people's photos because of their heinous actions. It's fine.
It happens. So June 12th, 1995, both men were sentenced to spicy ending of life by way of zapping by Circuit Judge Vernon Douglas. I know, you were cackling when I told you about me putting that.
Man, I completely forgot about that. Pregnancy brain for the win. Another happy accident.
As you mute yourself while you're talking.
Listen.
Apart from the sentences, the judge also imposed 3 consecutive life sentences on each man for the other charges that they did to Carmen. The judge labeled the death of Carmen as pitiless and unnecessarily torturous, and also wicked, evil, and vile. On October 23rd, 1997, Richard's direct appeal against his death sentence and murder conviction was dismissed by the Florida Supreme Court. On June 3rd, 2004, Richard's second appeal was rejected by the Supreme Court. On March 3rd, 2017, the Florida Supreme Court rejected Richard's petition for writ of habeas corpus. On February 8th, 2018, the Florida Supreme Court denied him his post-conviction appeal and affirmed his death sentence. On January 13th, 2023, Richard died at the age of 59 while incarcerated at Union Correctional Institute in Florida after spending approximately 28 years on death row. The Florida Department of Corrections did not publicly disclose the cause of his death, so they just put it as natural causes. He might have been assistant at the end. We don't know. Now on to Anthony's. On November 13th, 1997, the Florida Supreme Court dismissed Anthony's direct appeal. November 24th, 2004, a second appeal from Anthony was turned down by the Florida Supreme Court. Anthony was one of 4 death row inmates to lose their appeals to the Florida Supreme Court on the same day. So they're like, you get denied, and you get denied, and you get denied, and you get denied. Denials for everybody. On November 13th, 2007, Anthony's appeal was rejected by the 11th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals. On November 26th, 2008, his third appeal to the Supreme Court was denied. In July 2023, the 11th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals dismissed his appeal and also rejected his submission of new DNA evidence on the basis that they were insignificant to rebut the findings of the trial DNA experts and demonstrate his alleged innocence. Like the other dude already saying, like, canary, bro, like, you're cooked. On April 15th, 2024, the U.S. Supreme Court dismissed his final appeal against his death sentence. And then, little over a year later, on May 10th, 2025, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis signed the death warrant for Anthony, which scheduled him for June 10th, 2025.
There is not a lot I can say about Ron DeSantis because you know how I feel about him, but good for him.
Same, though. Right. Anthony was scheduled to have a evidentiary hearing at the Hamilton County Courthouse in Jasper on May 19th. However, Judge Melissa Olin said no to proceed with the hearing on May 16th, stating lack of evidence for proceeding with an evidentiary hearing. Following this ruling, his attorneys then filed an appeal to the Florida Supreme Court on May 20th with a motion for a stay of death filed with the court on May 23rd. The court denied this request on June 3rd. Because remember, they're running out of time real quick because June 10th's fast approaching. June 6th, Anthony appealed yet again to the U.S. Supreme Court to halt his impending doom, citing prenatal exposure to Agent Orange. This appeal was also rejected.
Wait a minute. Excuse the fork out of me? No, ma'am.
Like I said, he was grasping at straws because doomsday was coming real quick. It was shuttling down this tunnel. Anthony's doomsday, as I kept referring to it from then on, was the 6th scheduled in Florida in 2025. He was one of 4 inmates scheduled across 4 different states in the U.S. over a 4-day period between June 10th and June 13th of 2025. June 10th, Anthony was assisted into death by way of an injection in the Florida State Prison where he was being held. Official time of death was 6:22 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. He made no final statement. It would be revealed after his death that he had cancer, according to his autopsy report, because they have to do an autopsy. Dr. John Thogmartin reported that he had hepatic tumors with metastases to regional lymph nodes, adenocarcinoma with desmoplastic and necrotic features. Basically, he was going to end up dying a painful death if he hadn't been assisted to a faster end, which he deserved. He deserved a very painful death. So, Carmen's funeral was held on May 10th, 1994. A trust fund was set up for her 2 children. May 2014, about 20 years later, Carmen's sister expressed that she and her mother were still waiting for justice to be served and they hoped to see both men executed for unaliving her sister, who she described as being the sweetest girl on the face of the earth. Carmen's father passed away in 2013, and her sister petitioned the governor to sign death warrants for both men to ensure that it happened sooner. Carmen's mother passed away in 2022 from cancer. So neither parent really saw justice for their daughter's death. But on a happier note, there was a happy little sprinkling at the end. Remember that Mississippi State trooper that got into the gunfight or the pew pew fight? Yes. His name? John Wayne Leggett. Stop it! He recounted the case in 2018, stating that despite not initially realizing that the two men were fugitives, because it was 1994, he still followed them after seeing them in an out-of-state vehicle and being suspicious of them. His actions contributed to them being arrested. He also said that this was the most unforgettable experience that he had throughout his 27 years as a law enforcement officer. It was further reported that for his role in arresting them, he was honored as the statewide Trooper of the Year and received the Highway Patrol's Medal of Valor. He was also recognized by Congress and named a 1994 top cop by the National Association of Police Organizations. So just a little happy ending. I'm doing math. Keep going. I'm listening. I'm very happy. But that was it. That was my little ending, my little sprinkle of happiness at the end. I like that she had finally gotten justice. I did find, hold on. Because I was doing my math and I was like, this isn't mathing out right. I do my budget when we record these for the month. Rachel knows, I have to make sure that my numbers match up. And, yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, I'm fine. Because I'm doing my budget for the week of the baby shower. And I was like, no, I don't. I thought you did. No, I got it yesterday. Oh, okay. I completely forgot that it's that time of year where my Walmart subscription renews because I get Paramount Plus for free with my subscription. Okay, I did find a Facebook while we were going into it, written by her mom. Do you want me to read it? It's so touching. That's why you saw me go for a brief second, and then I fixed my face, obviously, because my face has subtitles. Okay. As does mine. Okay, so this was June 15th, 2025, and this is what she wrote. The Facebook group is called, I think it's profile, Carmen Gayheart, Schmurdered, 424 or 42794. I am home and unpacked. I have been reflecting on 31 years on this past month and this past week. All of the memories, photos, legal papers for Carmen's case are stored safely again. I have had time to reflect over the last month since the warrant was signed. What a roller coaster of emotion that began as soon as I answered my phone on May 9th, which is day after my birthday. I could have never imagined that the phone call I had waited so long for had me sobbing uncontrollably. I felt honored to be the one to call Ricky, her husband, and let him know that we were finally at this point after 31 years. No one will ever understand except those closest to us how hard this has truly been. There were times when I was open about my grief. More often than not, I kept quiet and only shared with a very few close individuals. You know who you are. I tried to keep Carmen's memory alive best I could. I've tried to be her voice. From start to finish, if I didn't live through myself, I would never believe this story because it's just that incredible. As I reflect back from 1994 to now, I recognize the signs now of all things that happened along the way before the trial, during the trial, all these years later. There were things that happened that looking back now, I know not everybody in such tragic situation gets these things, these signs. There have always been these signs, even this past week, so many signs. So many things make sense now looking back. The amount of support and love shown to me by my friends and my family has been nothing short of amazing. I have felt love and uplifted, and it has been wonderful. For those who were able to witness, thank you so much for being here. I'm fine. I asked each and every person that was with me to come for a reason. I am so thankful that they made it happen in the governor's office and that every one of us was able to be there in person. Holy cannoli. Stop it. Mommy's busy. The hormones do not help in this, okay? We're fine. Okay, guys, we're okay. Each person I asked to be there absolutely deserved their seat. For those of us, for those that supported us outside, thank you again so much. What a wonderful show of support for Carmen as we finally got justice. For those who were there in spirit and those that shared Carmen, her picture, her videos, thank you so much. Thank you for helping me showcase Carmen, the victim. Emotions ran high for me for over the last 31 years and definitely this last month. I apologize if I said or did anything to offend anyone. Never, never would I have faulted her for that. Just like if you remember the Amy Jo episode, how much I had to cut out, I cut out over an hour's worth of video because I respect the victim and the victim's family. I'm not going to do that to them. It was not my intention. One thing I am so passionate about is my sister. Oh, it's her sister. Never mind. Sweet Carmen, still gonna make me cry. Her memory getting justice for her, the victim. If you had an opportunity or took notice of the extraordinary individuals, Michelle Johnson at the AG's office and Brandy Manley in the governor's office, these two women in their roles, there is no one like them. No one will come after them to offer the same support and the caring that they showed me and our family. If you have noticed and you are so compelled, please write a letter to them on their behalf. I already have. There are things that we discovered about death row and about the inmates, about their privileges. Things that as victims were quite shocking and disturbing. If there's anything that can be done about that, you know I will, not for us, as our journey is over. The families that come behind us should not be blindsided by how much death row inmates actually have as far as privileges and visits when their victims have nothing. This should definitely change. The opportunity to meet Governor DeSantis was once in a lifetime. It was so fitting to be able to go and meet him with Rick and Chad. I only wish Jessica could have been here with us. It was an opportunity to spend some time with Chad and Rick. Afterwards, that is something I will carry with me forever and definitely until the next time I see them. Rick has a beautiful wife, Shelley, who I've always loved, and I feel like Carmen sent her. Oh, God. I'm fine, guys. She and Rick have built an amazing life and legacy for their children, and I'm so proud of what they have done. I look forward to continuing a relationship with them. Anybody who knows Ricky knows how much fun he is to be around. He is no different today than he was when we were kids, just one funny guy. During the trial and now the most difficult times of my life, I had people lifting me up, cheering me on, and making me smile, carrying me forward. Moving forward for myself, I feel hopeful. I see an amazing opportunity to renew relationships and build new ones and move forward. I feel peace. Again, I say thank you to each and every one of you. For those of you that were there with me to witness, I thank you. For those of you who were outside to show support, I thank you. To those of you who offered support with a message or call, if you posted Carmen's picture to help keep the memory alive, I thank you all. Whether you were just there in person or in spirit, you were there for me, for Carmen, and for justice. And for that, and so much more, I am so grateful.
I miss you, Carmen, Mom, Dad, and Daddy. We did it. It's finally done.
I know. Her sister never stopped pushing for justice for her sister. And it it really sucks because you expect to grow old with your siblings, and instead her parents had to bury a child, her siblings had to bury a sister, her the husband Ricky had to bury a wife, the children had to bury a mother, and it really sucks, but I'm so glad that they finally got closure and justice, even if it took so long.
I just needed to read that because I saw it and I didn't read it all the way through. And I was like, I can't, because then I'll start bawling right now. And I can't do that because we're serious right now. I have to be serious and I can't start crying because these guys are getting their justice. And we've been doing this for a while. Like, I've personally been deep diving for decades, especially after my friend disappeared, which we're going to be doing an episode on missing and Indigenous women and children later on this year. I've already decided we're doing it, even though it's a Serotonin Saturday episode, it's on the schools, because I found another thing on that. Anyways, besides the point. Death row inmates will always have more allowances than they should. And it's because it's considered inhumane to take certain things away, like to take away ability to be out with other people or to go outside or anything like that. Excuse me, it's considered inhumane. Rachel knows my stance on this. I'm not going to say this on YouTube because we would get flagged and it would get taken down. But, you know, I mean, there's such a thing as corporal punishment. I'm just saying it would be better.
I just realized I was not muted. And also, if you know us, you know how we stand on this particular thing. So, like, I get that it's seen as inhumane, but at the same time, their victims don't get to do these things. So I feel like neither should they. But that's just me. Like, even, especially if you get not put on death row, but you get a multiple life sentences, you should have strict, I can't think of the word. There should be a lot of things you cannot do.
Restriction.
Like,
you should have restrictions.
Yes, thank you. I couldn't think of the word. So like, there's no need for you to continue your education because you're not getting out. You should not have internet access unless you are emailing your lawyers or emailing family. But that's it. It should be very specific. No social media, no nothing. If you are working in the system, it is only to put money on your books and that's it, because, you know, you need shampoo and stuff because nobody wants to be around stinky people. Otherwise, that's it. You get like, you should only have like a limited amount of phone calls, like so many per week, like maybe like 2 a week, unless you're calling your lawyer and then it's entirely different or whatever. But like, a lot of restrictions should be in place and they're not. And I could go on a soapbox about this and I'm not going to.
Think, especially when we did the
Alcatraz episode, the fact that they had so many restrictions. And like, for instance, Al Capone, he had unalived so many people. He had done a lot as far as like getting FDA guidelines for food and drugs and all that other stuff. And he still wasn't able to have as nice as a cell as he used to have in Chicago. And like, they were allowed one musical instrument. They weren't allowed phone calls. They could have letters, but all the letters had to be pre-approved by guards. Like, it was very much like a, no, you're not allowed to write this person. Yes, you can write this person. Like, they were very adamant on who they could and could not speak to. And I get the anger. I get the frustration for the victim's family. I 100% get it. But again, we'd be on that soapbox all damn day.
And nobody has time for that. At least not today.
Not today, because this is the end of our episode today, guys. Stay feral.
Bite the hand.
And we'll see you all next time. Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
Well, party possums, that's today's dose of the Pandemonium. Thanks for listening and watching the ADHD chaos. Review, comment, and don't forget to subscribe. Tune in next week for more continued madness. And as always, stay feral.